Hi everyone, it's me again, Thandeka, Sister Love, Jwaha. Thank you once more for all of you that have subscribed, liked, and commented. And feel free to also share my videos. We last left off at a point where my childhood, my innocence was drastically and dramatically taken away from me. And now we continue on to part two, which will span between the ages of 11 up until 20, 21, 22, around there, because they all sort of interlink. So after my mom passed away, I remember the one thing that I requested from the elders was that can I please go back to the same primary school. If you remember well, I'd been allowed to go to Bordeaux Primary, and they finally accepted me, and I had shown great progress and I was excelling. So for grade four, I still wanted to go to Bordeaux. Um, my great aunt, Nelly, she was living in the same area as my mom at the time, and so it seemed like the ideal thing for her to be the one taking me in so that I could still go to Bordeaux. Unfortunately, Nelly herself was not well, and so in the same year of November, she passed away. It was a very difficult time because now 11-year-old me internalized that and thought, am I the reason that all these people are dropping dead? I I mean, I didn't know what to do. And kids are self-centered, and I mean, what was I supposed to think? Was I this bad omen? Because a lot of other people died, which I won't go into. So basically, I was in denial about my mother's death for the first 5 years. So from 10 up until 15, I just pretended that she was still alive. Longest case of denial I've ever experienced, but it is what it is, and that's what I went through. I then excelled in Bordeaux. I ended up leaving grade seven as the top student, best student, top performing. I was a prefect and all of those things. Around the time I was in grade six in 2002, my English teacher saw potential in a few of us and informed us about this student sponsorship program that was looking for gifted children that were previously disadvantaged. So we applied. And during the application process, when they realized that there was no one who was legally looking after me, they then were a bit skeptical about giving me the sponsorship. And this is where my parents come in, Carl and Marilyn. And when they came in, they then decided that we needed to have a formal, legalized relationship. And hence, they became my legal guardians. I had the option of either being adopted or them having legal guardianship. I chose legal guardianship because I was very attached to my surname at the time, which was Hadebe. But then, because I had no birth certificate, it's all long and convoluted. Because I had no birth certificate and I couldn't prove that my father was my father because he wasn't in my life, they then used my mother's death certificate to register me, and so I became Thandeka Jwaha when I was about 15 years old. So for the first 15 years of my life, I was known as Thandeka Hadebe, and then for the next one, the next time, like in 15 up until now, I started using Jwaha. There are many reasons why I opted for legal guardianship, apart from being attached to the surname. I think the back of my mind, I knew that I wanted to have the story to myself, to be in charge of who I tell that my parents are white, rather than coming and I'm telling a Cavendish Davies and people are like, who is this person, and speculating on how I became who, how I got to the surname and everything. It's just people are always feel. I almost feel like people always feel entitled to stories about people, even though really they don't. Anyways, so that's how we ended up having a relationship with my parents. I'll probably do a whole video of that whole process another time. So this is just the shortened version summarized. I then got into an amazing high school, one of the best in the country, and had the best time of my life. It is a private school. I went there from 2013 up until 2013, wow, 2003 up until, no, 2004 up until 2008. And I had the best time. I was involved in extracurricular activities, very busy with cultural activities as well as community service endeavors. It is where my love for helping people was solidified. Around the time when we had to choose subjects and we were thinking about what am I going to be when I'm done with school, I had fallen in love with the idea of becoming a pediatrician. And so I chose subjects that were aligned to that, which were the sciences as well as, yeah, it was the sciences. And I hated it. I didn't like science at all. But I really wanted to be a doctor. So what could I do? I then matriculated in 2008, got into VITS in 2009, went into first year school. We did medicine. Hated science and chemistry, not science and chemistry, physics and chemistry so much. It didn't like me either. I failed that first year in 2009. In 2010, I repeated the year. At the end, I failed again. I wrote a supplementary. I passed the supplementary this time, went into second year, hated anatomy and physiology. I was just not doing, I was not performing the way I was used to performing. So I failed. And in my failing, I was foreseeing myself doing medicine for the next 9 to 10 years. And I was just like, I can't imagine doing that. So, and I was also going through my darkest time. I was, in retrospect, I honestly think I was clinically depressed. And in 2010, I did start going to see a therapist again to talk about all the issues that I'd had in the first 10 years of my life. It really helped in terms of putting things into perspective, but it also made me realize how depressed I truly was. I unfortunately didn't see the light anymore. I couldn't see the end. I couldn't see myself ending and finishing the course. So I knew that I was too tired to carry on. I just didn't have the strength. So my parents allowed me to quit come end of 2011 on condition that I would do something in the year 2012. And this brings us to the end of the part 2 of my life. Part 3 is coming up shortly as well. And once more, thank you so much for subscribing, sharing, liking. Continue to do so. And thank you so much for the love and for the comments. Can't wait to see you again soon. Peace.